Welcome to our continuing series, Questions and Answers, from the works of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. Today, Food, Part 8. From the Mother. When you have a desire, you are governed by the thing you desire. It takes possession of your mind and your life, and you become a slave. If you have greed for food, you are no more the master of food. It is the food that masters you. It is an inner attitude of freedom from attachment and from greed for food and desire of the palate that is needed, not undue diminution of the quantity taken or any self-starvation. One must take sufficient food for the maintenance of the body and its strength and health, but without attachment or desire. 27 April 1937. It would be 100 times more effective to never waste food than to cut down one meal as a show and to eat more before and after. A strong, ardent, sincere campaign against the waste of food is essential, and full-heartedly I approve of it. The ordinary life is a round of various desires and greeds. As long as one is preoccupied with them, there can be no lasting progress. A way out of the round must be discovered. Take as an instance that commonest preoccupation of ordinary life, the constant thinking by people of what they will eat and when they will eat, and whether they are eating enough. To conquer the greed for food, an equanimity in the being must be developed, such that you are perfectly indifferent towards food. If food is given you, you eat it. If not, it does not worry you in the least. Above all, you do not keep thinking about food, and the thinking must not be negative either. To be absorbed in devising methods and means of abstinence, as the sannyasis do, is to be almost as preoccupied with food as to be absorbed in dreaming of it greedily. Have an attitude of indifference towards it. That is the main thing. Get the idea of food out of your consciousness. Do not attach the slightest importance to it. You must learn to unite what you call your individual self with your true psychic individuality. Your present individuality is a very mixed thing, a series of changes which yet preserves a certain continuity, a certain sameness or identity of vibration in the midst of all flux. It is almost like a river, which is never the same, and yet has a certain definiteness and persistence of its own. Your normal self is merely a shadow of your true individuality, which you will realize only when this normal individual, which is differently poised at different times, now in the mental, then in the vital, at other times in the physical, gets into contact with the psychic and feels it as its real being. Then you will be one. Nothing will shake or disturb you. You will make steady and lasting progress, and be above such petty things as greed for food. It is not by abstaining from food that you can make a spiritual progress. It is by being free, not only from all attachment and all desire and preoccupation with food, but even from all need for it. By being in the state in which all these things are so foreign to your consciousness that they have no place there. For instance, there is here that old idea of vegetarian food. Some people write to me indignantly that these holy rules are being increasingly broken in the ashram. They wrote to me a first time asking me to answer. I neglected to answer. So they wrote a second time to tell me, "What can we do if you don't answer?" I answered. They are probably kicking themselves. I replied something like this: truth is not a dogma that one can learn once and for all and impose as a rule. Truth is as infinite as the Supreme Lord, and it manifests every instant for those who are sincere and attentive.